everybody, welcome to Nerdstalgia. Nerd! That's like the word nostalgia, but with nerd. I invented that. My name's Jay Black. I'm a comedian. This is Bill Ridgway, my good friend. He's the world's best looking nerd, and I don't like that about him. But what we do... Yeah, no. Well, yeah, I should probably let you talk, Bill.
It's fine. Your introductions are much better than mine.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm working with a therapist, and I've been told other people have thoughts. Here's what we do on the show. We take a look at something from our childhood, something that we grew up with. We discuss it, and we decide whether or not it is worth keeping in our brain. So the show that we decided to talk about today is the Transformers movie. Transformers! We should say for right now that this is not a discussion of the Transformers 2000s movie. Right. Those movies make me feel old because I watched them the same way that my grandparents watched anything, just in sheer confusion of like, I don't know what's happening.
I'll drive, you shoot!
Let's talk a little bit about Transformers themselves. Bill, what are your memories of the Transformers toys?
My memory is mostly the TV show above all else, and then just the initial toy line.
Right.
Megatron,
Gen 1.
Optimus Prime, Gen 1, Starscream.
My first encounter with the Transformers was through GoBots.
Yeah.
Which came out, I think, before the Transformers, at least in America.
Right.
And GoBots are terrible. Do you remember GoBots at all? So like
they were plastic. Transformers were the heavier metal type.
Yeah, but you transformed the Transformers. Like it was like a car, and you moved it all around, and arms popped out, and then a head. GoBots was like a car, then you lifted it up, and there was like a face out of the car, and like two legs.
His arms out or something.
It was like somebody looked at GoBots and said, "We have an afternoon. Let's see if we can make this work to compete with the Transformers." We're talking about Transformers the movie, which is a 1985. I think it's 85.
86.
1986. I was 10 when it came out. I assume you were 10 as well.
I was 6 months older.
Well, it came out this summer. I remember it was the summer.
Yeah.
Could have not been the summer, but I'm remembering it being the summer. So yeah, we were 10 years old, right at the cusp, Bill. We were right at that Stand By Me age between child and slightly older.
We were also children longer back then too. So like a 10-year-old isn't a 10-year-old like it is now.
You think so?
There's no internet. I think we played with toys longer. I think that that phase lasted longer. I don't know if 10-year-olds play with action figures or toys anymore.
I got to be honest with you. If I had a slate of metal and plastic that could show me pornography, like anytime I wanted, I'm actually surprised that YouTube exists because Pornhub exists. Right. This movie, if you don't know, was set up to introduce the next generation of toys.
Right.
So they had a whole bunch of toys, and they were like, okay, we got to introduce the new toys. So what's the best way to do that? Like, what's the least traumatizing way to introduce new toys? Oh, I know. Right. We'll murder all of the Autobots that you love.
All your fan favorites.
They are dead.
It was Hasbro,
right?
You know, so they wanted to get rid of them early in the movie. Even if you let them have that one big movie to the end and then transition. Right. But they were trying to get them out early.
It was a slaughter. There's children watching this. Yeah. Kill them. Explain that there's no coming back. And honestly, in a lot of ways, at 10, I think it starts you down that path of like, wait a second, Optimus Prime doesn't die when he gets hit by a stick. I've seen the TV show. Like, they encase him in ice. They do all sorts of stuff. He always comes back. They're trying to sell me toys. In a lot of ways, this movie is the death of our innocence. So it starts with the saddest, probably, story in all of Hollywood history, Unicron, floating through space. This is the last ever movie that Orson Welles was in.
Yeah.
The first movie, Citizen Kane.
Yeah, I know you're a big Orson Welles fan, but he was pretty far removed from the Citizen Kane hype at that point.
A little bit.
So. What a time considered sparing your wretched little planet Cybertron?
He was honestly the size of a planet when he recorded this. He plays Unicron, which is basically someone at Hasbro read one issue of Fantastic Four, and it was the Galactus issue, and he was like, do that, and then walked away. So it's a planet-devouring transformer planet.
Right.
And he's floating through space, and apparently the only thing that can kill him is the heretofore never mentioned Autobots Matrix of Leadership, which is like this oval thing that Autobots just put in their chest when they're in charge of the Autobots. Did I get that right?
I think so.
It's the far-flung year 2005
Yes.
that we're in. And they're on the moon, and they're like, we got to get more Energon to attack the Decepticons. So they're going back home to get the Energon. And the Decepticons hear this, and they decide they're going to go attack the Autobot city before the Autobots get there. Meanwhile, fishing with Spike's son is Hot Rod.
Your best friend is a robot that turns into a car. To get to where you need to get to the Autobot city, you jump on a flying skateboard. But 3 minutes before, the most fun you can have is fishing with a giant robot?
Hot Rod transforms, and Daniel jumps inside of Hot Rod. The ethics of this need to be explored. It's a robot who's your friend.
Right.
He transforms into a car. It's okay to get inside a car, but it's not okay to get inside your friend.
Whoa, look at the size of it!
Yep, it's a whopper, all right.
If it was a human friend, yes. But robot friends, I think, are a little bit different. I've never had one, so I don't want to speak for people who have robot friends.
Right.
But
Yeah, you know what? That's a community
Right,
you don't want to piss off.
Yeah.
Hot Rod can also carry him and fly, right? So I would say, like, I feel more comfortable, I think, if you carry
Did
him.
something happen to you that you're just gonna vent right here on YouTube?
You can't get inside of a sentient being without there being some level of intimacy.
Right, but there was consent, clearly
But
given.
he's 10. He can't give consent at 10, Bill.
In the movie, there's a weight issue.
Right. Yes.
So they decide to, callously just dump some of their friends who knows how long they could have gone to school together. I don't know how long they've known each other. But all of a sudden, the weight, even though they're out in space, I don't know if there's an up or down where they're worried about falling to or where they're...
That's a weird thing.
I have no idea.
The physics of that doesn't work.
But apparently they're too heavy for Astro Train.
Right.
Jettison some weight or I'll never make it to Cybertron.
Fellow Decepticons, Astro Train has requested that we lighten our burden.
Racism in the Transformers community. There's certainly a degree of racism in the casting of the voices.
Oh, Jazz?
Jazz and the boombox.
Roger me, will call me, anything. Hello, hello, Earth.
I'm picking up a fake signal.
This is Jazz, a ginormous, weird-looking planet just showed up in the suburbs of Cybertron.
Who both speak some sort of...
And poor Scatman Crothers, who, from The Shining fame and other things, who played Jazz. He also didn't make it too far after that movie before he passed away either. I think him and Orson Welles were pretty much out within a month of that movie.
I think he died of shame.
There were a lot of victims, not just Autobots.
They're getting back they're going back to Cybertron. And along the way, Megatron, who's been mortally wounded, and Starscream, his toxic best friend, kicks him off. And he goes, but I still function. And he's like, I don't care. Again, teaching kids, betray your friends immediately. Right. And he is found by Unicron, who turns him into Galvatron. Which I don't get. Like, he goes from one gun to another.
Not a cool gun either.
No, it looks like something that they sketched up very quickly. And he decides he's gonna. He says you have to go kill Ultra Magnus, get the Matrix of Leadership, because that's the only thing I'm afraid of. And Galvatron's like, yeah, no problem. So he goes with his new wingmen, who none of which are as cool as Starscream, I would say.
No, almost like they're henchmen 1, 2, and 3. I can't even think of them right now.
Right, Swoop. Right?
Scourge, something like that,
yeah.
or Soup.
So they go off, but meanwhile, the Autobots land on this weird planet. Like, they get attacked, and the thing breaks. I guess Galvatron attacks them, and the ship breaks and lands in this weird junk planet. And there's like 3 different storylines. There's Cup and Hot Rod. There's Daniel and the female robot, which...
RC, right?
Yeah. You're going to talk about sexist. Pink Robot does nothing.
Come on, RC, let's go.
But Hot Rod and Cup are still outside the city.
Hot Rod, the Poochie.
Yes.
Whenever we're not on screen with Hot Rod, we should be talking about Hot Rod. And which, by the way, when this was over, the Hot Rod backlash was so great. Like, he was going to be Optimus Prime. He was now Rodimus Prime. The end of the story, Unicron turns into a robot. He's a planet the whole time, and he transforms. I guess that's a great disguise.
Well,
You're a planet.
speaking of Unicron, like, so the first segment, Unicron's eating that one planet with the...
very sexual.
And the one guy looks up,
Vagina
and he goes, Unicron. So he clearly, this guy, they know he exists.
Yeah.
Like, he calls his name out when he looks up. And 90 minutes later, I still don't know who he is.
Right, yeah. But he transforms into a robot, and then the Transformers all go inside him. And they get split up, Then it just comes down to Galvatron and Hot Rod. The Hot Rod touches the matrix of leadership.
Right.
And he's, you hear Prime's voice. And now he's, like, his face is weirder now. It's not like a young face. He's got like an old robot face. And he's got more power. And he's able to defeat Galvatron like that. And then he opens the Matrix, and the greatest song in movie history, immortalized forever in Boogie Nights.
You got the touch. You got the
Arise, Rodimus Prime. Optimus.
It's not a bad song, in all honesty. I'm joking.
Yeah, and in that time period, that is exactly what like a hit would be.
Right.
Like,
the light comes up, the light shoots through Unicron, he dies, another robot death.
Right.
Unicron. By the way, they never discuss the remains of Unicron, which would honestly be like falling onto Cybertron.
Well, his head became a moon, remember? Like,
yeah, I remember.
So,
and that was in the series too. Unicron's head was a moon. But if a moon-sized robot is destroyed like 15 feet from the Earth, all of that detritus is going to fall, and I think Cybertron should be dead. And then we end the movie with the promise of, hey, season 3 of the Transformers is coming out, and your favorite new leader, Rodimus Prime, and all these great robots, the old one, Cup, the pink one, and others are going to be here to start a brand new time in the year 2005. Bill, what's your feeling on this? Should this movie be in our brains?
Well, when you asked me to do this, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I haven't had a chance to like revisit it in a while, and I'm like, but wait a second, why have I seen Star Wars like 50 times over the last 40 years? Why there's so many other things. I've seen Willow probably 100 times since then. So like, why did I leave this one alone? Yeah. And then you watch it again, and you kind of realize it. Transformers is fine to keep in your mind. I think I just left right at the right time.
Right. It's a good point.
You know what I mean? Again, going forward, maybe it's gotten better and worse at different points too. Not counting Michael Bay movies, I agree upon that. But just in general, I think when I got out at that 10, 11 years old, after Optimus Prime and all that went away, I think just having, before that, I'm going to hold on to. And anything, probably this movie on, I can kind of let go.
I think you're right. I think that I really loved the fact that a movie in 1985 could be this dark and trippy and weird. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that at the time, it wasn't commented on. It was just like, of course, this is... Like, my dad didn't walk out and go, we need to sit and talk about what we just saw. Because it plays like...
And it bombed.
Yeah. Oh, did it?
It bombed.
So,
I'm pretty sure that was my walkaway.
That was the end of it. Yeah, I think that was for me, too. And I think you're right. I'm going to say, Nerdstalgia-wise, Transformers the movie, out!
Okay.
Out of my brain! This is Nerdstalgia. We're going to do this hopefully every week. And Bill, I would love to have you back. Okay. You come back and you can choose the next one.
Oh, no, all right. No, definitely back.
And we'll come back and we'll take another look at our childhood and whether or not that Nerdstalgia deserves to be there. Thanks for watching another great Exit 19 production. If you liked what you saw, and let's face it, you got to the end of the video, you didn't stop and write a nasty comment, so you probably did like it. Hit the like button. I know a lot of people ask for that. We really need it. Yeah, if you're doing Linus Tech videos, he's got like 100 million subscribers. He doesn't need another like. We need another like. Like, subscribe, comment.